Hi guys, and welcome to Tobysblogs. After a long time I've been away and I haven't been doing any any videos, so I thought, well, I'll do a video. Hooray!
You've been floating around like a butterfly, but I'm gonna pin you down, 'cause you've been found and convicted of a serious crime, caught in possession of this heart of mine, and I'm locking you away for a long, long time. You're guilty, guilty, you're guilty of love. I'm the judge and the jury and defendant too, and I'm just about to throw the book at you. You're guilty, guilty, can't get away 'cause you're guilty, guilty. Now hear me saying Guilty.
And before anyone says, I do know that Elizabeth Sladen has passed away today. Well, it would have been today. It would have been yesterday if you watched the video. And it's very sad. And I'm really hurting inside. But this video is not about Liz Sladen. It's about movies. Okay, I've recently watched quite a lot of movies. Kind of oldish movies. They're not really, they're kind of 2009, around that era, and I've finally got around to watching those. And I've watched other new movies as well, which you would class as not so new, but oh well. I kind of watched, okay, the movies I've watched recently are Sorcerer's Apprentice, Deathly Hallows, Harry Potter, Robin Hood, I think that's it, and Dr. Parnassus' Imagine Touring, but I've seen that before, and Avatar. So yeah, watching Sorcerer's Apprentice, when I wanted to watch for a long time. I knew it was coming out when I watched another film with the main character in, the actor who played him, and I knew it was going to come out, so I thought, yeah, I like it. And anyone who knows me and my film interests, I really like fantasy magical films, and they're one of my favourites, and I watched loads of them. Anything to do with Merlin or the Arthurian tales, I love it. Anyone wants me to do a video on the Arthurian legends, just type it in the comment box and I will do a whole video on the Arthurian legend. I think I've done one before, but I'll do one again if you want me to. And the Sorcerer's Apprentice is absolutely fantastic, where you got Merlin, who's got his 3 apprentices, and he dies, killed by the evil Morgan Le Fay. What a bitch she is. And he imprisons her in this goblet thing, and Merlin says to his apprentice, whoever it was, I can't remember what his name was, and he says, you must find the prime millennium, the prime Merlinian. And so this guy goes to search throughout time trying to find the prime millennium, and he comes across this guy and he realises he's the right one, and he gets trapped in a pot, and then he kind of trains this guy up to be magical to destroy Morgan Le Fay. And it's a really good film with magic and marvellous and mystery and Merlin and Arthurian legends continued into the present day with masses of fireballs and Morgan Le Fay, hooray, and evil wizards and things from Merlin's time. And that is a fantastic film. You must go and watch Sorcerer's Apprentice. It's an absolutely fantastic film. Gets a 10 out of 10 rating from me. On that kind of Merlin kind of way, I recently watched Merlin War of Dragons, and that was another good film, Merlin film. I watch all Merlin films. It was good. 2 good characters who are kind of grown up, that are apparently spawns of the devil. One's Merlin, one's another, his friend. The other has control over the dragons, and so the dragons are fighting. This is before Uther Pendragon is with something with a V. Oh, I can't remember what it was now, but running out of time. go on to the other movies. And so they hang a big fight, and it's another good movie to watch. And you've got all these, the Ladies of the Lake, two of them, and they kind of hang a loving relationship with Merlin, which is kind of cool, and Excalibur and that kind of thing. That's a good movie to watch. And also you can watch Merlin, Book of Beasts. That's a fantastic movie. That's after Arthur, but it's still a fantastic movie, with the Pendragons and the Fountain of Youth. Not the Fountain of Youth. I'm tired. Let's move on to another film. Okay, other films that I've watched recently. Robin Hood. As Mr. Tires Review said, Robin Hood is a weird name for it because it wasn't really Robin Hood. There was hardly anything in that movie that could say that it was Robin Hood. The character Robin Hood, Robin of Sherwood, died at the beginning of the film. He then, a usurper kind of takes over, who becomes this character. King John, good character. It's got Alien, and the woman from Upstairs Downstairs, co-wrote Upstairs Downstairs. She's good in it. King Richard Lionheart gets killed. We have the fight with the Baron. It's a good film. It is a good film. As Mr. Tobysblogs Review said, it is a good film. It's just that it's called Robin Hood, and there's hardly any Robin Hood in there. Basically, we've got, this is my hood, Robin Hood. I am Robin. This is Little John. And this is This is King John. This is Richard Lionheart. This is Maid Marian. It's like, the names is basically as far as it goes with Robin Hood wise, because the story, the whole thing isn't really Robin Hood at all. Okay, it's a good film, but it's not really Robin Hood. Moving on to another film. What other films did I say I watched? Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I watched that recently. It was a really good film. It was amazing. I think it was one of the best so far of the Harry Potter films, when they go out and go to different locations and they travel and they've got their wands and things, and Voldemort is actually physical in the physical now, and he's got his legions around him. It's a good film, and it's like at the end you're like, we want to see the next bit. But yeah, it's a good film. Go and watch Deathly Hallows, because that's a brilliant film. Okay, what other films have I watched recently? Avatar. Avatar was another good film. I watched Avatar recently. Avatar was a film that most people have seen, and I never got around to watching it, so I thought I'd watch Avatar. It was a good film about a disabled person who kind of wants to go into the Avatar world, into this weird world of blue people. But yeah, it was a good film, and I really liked it. It was a good film, and I kind of liked this scientist woman. She was good. I liked her as an Avatar, but she kind of died. The only thing I didn't really like about the Avatar film was it looked too much like a computer game. It looked too much. They took the word Avatar and kind of turned it into a thing that looks too much like a computer game. If you actually sat down and watched Avatar, you could actually, there's those scenes where they're connecting them up to the dangly thing, and it's like you can actually, you see on all the lighting, it looks like you're in a video game. And I went into the shops the other day, and you can see the Avatar the video game, and it probably would not be very different to Avatar the film, because they both look like a video game. And yes, I didn't like that quality. If they made it look more real instead of CGI, real trees, real roots, it would look better. But instead of trying to look like a video game, it was like a difference between watching live action film and watching a cartoon. And that's the only thing I didn't like about the Avatar film. But it was a good film. Yeah, as well. What other films have I watched recently? Dawn Treader's out this week. If you want to go watch Dawn Treader. Little Fuckers, haven't watched that yet, but I watched this recently. Dr. Parnassus Imaginatorium. I've seen it before, but it's kind of, I didn't realise that one of the main characters who joins the Imaginatorium died halfway through the film, which is kind of sad, but it's kind of amazing how they picked up a film that they've only been it's kind of lucky really that they filmed all the outside scenes with the actor before he died, and then they put all the scene. They put extra bits. They filled in extra bits with different actors like Colin Farrell and Johnny Depp and Jude Law, which I think is really nice. But it's a weird kind of film going into a mandatory world. It's quite it's quite a good film. Got midgets. The person who played Mini-Me in it, he's a little midget. It's got Johnny Depp, Jude Law. I'm quite a Jude Law fan. Yeah, and the Imaginatorium. I love their little brum car. Look, the Imaginatorium. See that little car thing there? That whole thing is a stage and a house and everything. I love it. It's a good film, freaky but weird and kind of good film. Yeah, so I've been kind of reviewing all these little films. So I've been watching. We watched. What was it? It was The Sorcerer's Apprentice, Robin Hood. That wasn't really like Robin Hood at all. The War with Dragons, which is another good film. Deadly Hallows, Avatar, and Dr. Parnassus, The Imaginatorium. Oh, another good film I watched recently was The Rocky Horror Show, which is kind of a film about transvestites. But I watched it because it was written by Richard O'Brien, which is quite a Richard O'Brien fan. He was in a film. I mean, it's mainly for runs the Crystal Maze for about 4 series. And also he was in a Cinderella film that I watched and was quite good. Richard O'Brien's a fantastic actor. And he was quite weird with the transvestites, a house full of transvestites and sexuals, but it's got Tim Curry in it or something like that, who was really, I quite liked his character. It was quite good. It was a good film, but quite really freaky and weird. So that's Tobysblogs reviewing loads of different films that I've watched recently. Okay. Goodbye. Love you guys. The Sorcerer's